Hi, my name is Glenn, and I'm going to attempt to replace the zipper on my Drysuit. Now, if you've looked around on YouTube, you probably noticed that there aren't a whole lot of videos on how to do this. There's another guy named John Balby who's done a very fine set of videos on how to replace a zipper on his DUI CLX 450 Drysuit. I've got a bit of a different Drysuit here, so I thought I'd attempt it on mine. I used to have a CLX 450 just like his, and I really miss it. But perhaps the suit I picked up here will be a little bit easier. This is a Hunter Pro-Am 1050. It's a little bit older suit. It was purchased from public safety divers who, as you might imagine, beat the heck out of everything. And I'm trying to bring it back up to speed. And the zipper is in dire need of replacement. So I'll just show you what we've got here. Older suit, very heavy-duty rubber. I've taken out the shoulder valve already just to inspect that, the dump. And on the back is the zipper. One of the advantages to this suit is that you can lay it flat, unlike a suit where self-donning suit where the zipper goes across your shoulder down to your waist. This one's right across the back, so it's a back donning suit. I should be able to lay it flat and install the zipper fairly easily. I would really love to be able to send this out to have somebody do it for me and have it done professionally, except I am also a graduate student, and it seems like diving and being a student are incompatible lifestyles. So this is purely for financial reasons, but we'll see how this goes. You can follow along, and if it's a disaster, well, it's my fault. But you can learn from my bad mistakes. All right, if you're going to replace your own Drysuit zipper, you're going to need a few things first. I recommend masking tape. I got some Drysuit glue here. This is ordered this from Dive Right In Scuba. Utility knife and acetone, some good sandpaper, and if you're planning on taking out the entire zipper, you're probably going to need a heat gun. So not including the heat gun, these things are probably $20 worth of stuff. And of course, you're also going to need the zipper itself. If you order a zipper, measurements are usually from the outside of the rubber stopper from end to end, and be sure to make sure you can get this before you actually start work. In my case, I found out that my zipper was an unusually long one, another gotcha, so I had to special order a zipper from China. This is a 42-inch zipper from Kin. It looks essentially the same as a YKK zipper. We'll see how it works. Seems robust enough. We'll go. And anyway, if you're going to be ripping your zipper entirely out of your Drysuit, the first time you do this, you might also want, say, a shot of scotch, because it's kind of nerve-wracking, but that's up to you. Anyway, so there's your basic equipment. When I was figuring out how to go ahead and replace this zipper, I found there's basically two common ways of replacing a zipper in a Drysuit, for do-it-yourselfers at least. The one way is the way I've started doing here, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, which is I'm using a heat gun and actually taking the whole zipper physically out of the Drysuit. The other way is to take a utility knife and cut right along the zipper to make kind of a template. You leave the majority of the material in there, and then you put your new zipper in from behind and glue it in. I don't think that would work very well in the case of this particular Drysuit, because to glue it in from behind, there's not a lot of material here or space between where the zipper ends and the Drysuit begins, and the Drysuit material itself is very not very conducive to taking glue. It's a fabric backed material, so I opted to take the entire zipper out of the Drysuit. Okay, so one of the first things I did was I did a thorough inspection of how the zipper is sealed in there, and on this suit they've got a whole lot of this reinforcing rubber that's kind of blocking access to the zipper, but we'll take care of that. And I figured I didn't see any stitching, so it's all just glued in. And if you have a Viking suit, you might have a similar situation. So I did a little poking around, and a lot of this seam on the inside. Now here's the inside material of the suit. I don't want to damage that, but it peels back fairly easy from there. I think the glue is getting old. See, I can just peel that back right now, like that. And if you have any trouble, you can use a heat gun. That'll loosen up some of the glue. And this should just all pop off. Getting it going is the hard part, but once it's going, you can see I can stick my finger through there now. The seal is coming apart. What happens next, I'm not sure, but I'm going to take a harder look at it and see once I get that zipper off of there. I might have to take a knife and cut through there. We'll see. Yeah, that glue is sold. It's just separating really easy. So I'm having no problems at all there. It's a little bit tough right around the mid seam of the suit. A little bit more reinforcement there. So this one area I complained about with it's in the center line of the suit where it has extra reinforcing. I just noticed there's actually stitching right there that goes into the zipper. So this tells me it was probably an original zipper for the suit. So I'm at the end of the zipper and space is tight in here, but got it separated everywhere else. What you can see is I'm sticking my thumb in there to kind of pry it apart between the suit material here and the zipper there. And we'll see how this goes. So I've got my heat gun out. It's really kind of tough in here. They've used a lot of material and a lot of glue. I'm just going to see if I can soften things up a bit with the heat gun. I've got it on low heat. Okay, so this is interesting. I hadn't yet taken a knife to this reinforcing rubber material. I was still trying to separate the seam from the suit, or from the zipper from the suit, and it's having trouble down in this area near the ends of the zippers. It's really hard to get your thumb in there to pry the zipper material away from the suit material. So I was wondering if there was some way I could just take this material, this outside reinforcing material, off. So I hit it with a heat gun a little bit, see if I can melt off any adhesives, and yeah, it's coming apart. You can see, there we go. On a side note, I've noticed if you have these little hairs coming off your zipper, you just go by them really quick with a heat gun and it takes care of them really well. Yeah, look at that. It's coming right off. So here I'm going to cut that stitching between the zipper and the suit material. And just real gently in there with a utility knife. Okay, so this is where I'm at. Got the zipper out at this end. You can see this is where it goes. And if I get a new zipper with these dimensions, it should be gluable right back in there where it was. All this rough stuff, that was there before I got here, so must have happened at the factory. Anyway, if you're not picky, if you don't want to keep this material, this reinforcing material on the outside, you can probably just cut that off. I don't know, I think I'll keep it for now. I can always cut it off later if I decide I don't want it, or if it makes installing the new zipper too difficult. So here's where we are. I've just removed the old zipper, broken teeth, bad seal and everything from the Drysuit. This is the old one. And I've lined it up right next to the new one. You can see they're the exact same length. And here's the suit. And what happens now is I need to prep the inside material here. I need to sand this down, use some acetone to remove any of the old glue that's inside there. Prepare a surface to glue in the new zipper along there. Some of this material on the outside is trim reinforcement. You can add some more of that if you want, or I'm probably just going to use the existing trim. I don't really care that much about it, but using whatever you can will reinforce the seal, of course. A little acetone. I'm using an old kitchen scrubber here just to get a better seal here. I don't know how well this is going to take off the old glue, but you got to do something to clean up the surface here. I'm also going to sand it down with that sandpaper later. And remember, the primary purpose for using the sandpaper is to make a nice rough surface for the glue to adhere to. So it's never going to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want something for the glue to stick to. So what I've done is I've gone over the suit material with some acetone to clean off any old glue, and then ran over it with some sandpaper to try to give it a good bonding surface, and then once more with acetone to clean clean up the surface again. So the new zipper will glue right in there and right in there. One problem I can see happening is that because I'm using contact cement, I want to glue the zipper in without this thing getting in the way or touching the glue. So I think I'm going to tape this back just to hold this reinforcement rubber material out and away from where the zipper will be bonded to. So here's some of the prep work I've done. I've folded back all this extra material around the opening in the Drysuit to keep it away, so I can now glue this. I've exposed the Drysuit material. I can apply the glue there and apply the contact cement to there in the zipper and press it in and can test fit it. And for the zipper itself, I've trimmed off the edges, kind of round it to make it fit better like the original zipper. And I've also masking taped off the zipper itself to keep any glue off the zipper. And it's not zipped up, it's just taped into position. If you zip them up and they're not installed, they form a V shape, which will make it hard to install. So I haven't looked at the MSDS for this glue to see what the contents are, but I'm pretty sure it's toluene based because I can smell it. And if you don't have good ventilation, you're basically going to be huffing glue while you're doing this. So maybe you can hear in the background I've got a fan running, sort of ventilate the room. And while I was doing this, I was thinking, well, how do I want this to work? Do I want the zipper to zip to the left or zip to the right? And I want it so that when the zipper is closed, it's on the right. So my buddy, if they're right-handed, will be going like that. So right now the zipper is in the open position, which means the pull will be on the left side of the suit as we're facing it. Okay, we're ready. I'm using scoop of weight bags to kind of hold the Drysuit in place and keep everything flat. Not very good. I have a feeling this is going to be a disaster, but we're going to do it anyway. No getting around it. So we'll just start and see how it goes. I'm just working it along with my fingers. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be waterproof. Wow! There it is. Now, I'm going to get my handy dandy plastic roller that I bought down at the hardware store. Oh wait, no, I'm using a roll of tape. And we're gonna work this. I'm going to make sure it all seats in properly. I have no idea whether I've got some bubbles or pooches in there. I'm sure I do at this point, but we're going to do the best we can with it. Well, all right, here's the finished zipper installed in the Drysuit. And I did 2 leak checks on it. The first leak check had a leak right up in this area. There's actually a seam underneath here. You can't see it, but it was bubbling out through there. So I got out some aqua seal and sealed that up, and then I got a little bit crazy with the aqua seal and just put a bead of it along in here and kind of tacked down some of this reinforcement material up in there. So yeah, that means I probably won't ever get that zipper out of there again. If I ever want to replace it, I'll have to cut along there. But anyway, that's the finished suit. Seems to hold air along the zipper or hold a watertight seal. Put in a little bit of zipper loop here. Was it worth it? I don't know. If this was a really expensive Drysuit, I would probably have sent it out. It cost more, but it might be worth it to have it done professionally. But since this was a cheap Drysuit, it was a learning process. The glue, the contact cement that I used to put in the zipper, whatever contact cement you use, I just used the dive right in cement, doesn't make a very good filler. So that's why I had that leak there near the seam. And any place else where there's a problem in the seal along with the suit, this isn't going to fill it in. You're going to have to use aqua seal or something like that. So if I were to do this all over again with this same suit, I'd probably just go get a big tube of aqua seal and do it that way and have done with it. But as it stands, I now have a Drysuit again, and there we go. Hopefully I'll get it out in the water pretty soon. Thanks.